Well, hey there, guys, and welcome to the Jason Wright Show. Today, I am here to talk about something that I think we're all about to have to endure. And it happens with, just like Christmas, it's something we can plan on, it's something we can expect, and I can feel it heating up. And yesterday, I saw something, and I watched it, and I kind of felt my blood starting to boil a little bit, and I had to really kind of find my breath, find my center, chill out, and start to practice a lot of the things that I preach. There are some tools and tactics that I teach in the Vitruvian Lab, in particular in the Massively Transformative Habits, that I literally had to go to that toolkit and exercise yesterday. And here is what caused that to happen. I was watching President Biden's speech over in Vietnam, and look, this is the Jason Wright Show is not a political show, and I'm not going to go there. And incidentally, I happen to be the most positive guy on the interwebs, right? So it's hard these days to even put your toe in the water of politics and remain positive, or at least remain perceived as positive, because it's going to just elicit all of these feelings from one side or the other, no matter what. And those feelings are going to be anxious. They're going to be anxiety ridden. And look, here's something too that you have to know. There was a time whenever I used to do, back in the day, back before podcasts even existed, I used to do political commentary. And I stopped it because I just decided that's not what I want to be known for. That's not what I want to have as my calling card. What I want you to know about Jason Wright, whenever you tune into the Jason Wright Show, and you see that motto of improve always and always, I want you to relate those two. This is a dude that is on a mission to improve always and always. And also, I want you to know this. I care about you improving. It means the world to me to know that there are people on the other end of this microphone that are going to receive these messages. And I take it with such... I'm very passionate about it. I try to be very careful about it. And look, I'm going to mess up. There are going to be times whenever I say something kind of flippantly, or it maybe insensitively. I'm not always going to get it right. But I want you to know right now that you have my word as my audience, as my tribe, that I am truly thinking to myself, right now, I imagine you driving down the road and you could be listening to any number of podcasts. There are millions of them at this point. And for some reason, you have honored me with your time. And so I'm getting to get a message to you. So therefore, I want to be very cautious with that message. I don't want to pull punches. I don't want to just make you feel good. I want to be truthful and honest with you. But I also want to leave you feeling like, one, you just heard a message that was from the heart, it was authentic, and it was said with care and compassion, and it was meant to help you to improve and move about your day in a positive manner. So with that setup, I was listening to our president speak, and Joe Biden he's feeble, he's old, and he's not sounding good. And so it frustrated me. It really started frustrating me that we have reached a point in time where our president goes on to the world stage, and before him, you had Trump, and that was causing all sorts of problems, right? Everybody, Trump would say something that was insensitive or whatever, and that would get people inflamed. Now you've got Joe Biden, and frankly, just the fact that it looks like we are going to have two choices for president, that the fact is, if you and I, all of you listening, if we were all in a room together, I guarantee you we would all say, of the 330 plus million people in the United States of America, would any of you choose these two individuals to be president? Most of us, now some would, some are just all in for Donald Trump. I don't think it's that much with Biden. I don't think there's that many Democrats that are just like, you know what, Joe Biden is the guy. I don't really think that. I do think Trump elicits a certain tribe that are like, yes, that's the wrecking ball. I want to elect to just shatter the nonsense and whatever's going on in Washington. But here's what I got to thinking about. And this is where I think if we're not careful, we can all get caught up in this during election season. That's what's happening. That's what's about to happen in a big way. We're about to go through, I can't believe it. It just seems like just yesterday that Joe Biden was elected, and we went through all of that And now here we are again. These cycles just get shorter and shorter. I mean, the day that a president is sworn in is the day that they start running for reelection. And here's my message to you. And this is why I'm so glad you're here listening to this show. And don't just listen to my show. I want you to listen to Peter Attia for health and wellness. I want you to listen to Ben Greenfield for longevity and health and wellness. I want you to listen to Joe Rogan, who asks these amazing minds out there great questions. And he gets the top of the top of the top guests to come on and ask them questions. I want you to listen to The Knowledge Project. I want you to listen to Naval Ravikant. I want you to listen to all these. But while you're here, here's what I want you to understand, and here's today's takeaway. It does not matter whether it is Joe Biden or Donald Trump. There is no way to legislate your own life and your self-improvement. Okay, I'm going to say that again. You cannot rely on any politician, any member of Congress, the Senate, or even the President of the United States to legislate your happiness, your well-being, and your ability to improve upon where you are right now. That falls on you. I think what really frustrated me the most is because I felt myself, look, and I'm a guy, I'm the improve always and always guy. I am a self-help guy. That's what I do. This podcast is about self-improvement. Okay, so look, if anybody should immediately resort to positive self-talk and positive affirmations and not get caught up in relying on a man quote to make my life better, it's this guy. But I can even feel the sting of it at times when politicians say things and make decisions that are going to impact mine and my family's life. And I had to stop and say, wait a minute, if I am just completely immersed in this life all the time, I mean, if you're watching this on YouTube, you look behind me, you see just scores of books behind me that I've read and I've taken notes and I've marked pages. If I, that guy, the perpetual self-learner on human optimization, mind optimization, emotional optimization, again, the Vitruvian guy, the guy that founded the Vitruvian Lab, if even I feel it, then I gotta imagine you're out there feeling it too. You feel the frustration, the anger, the angst, the anxiety, which sucks. Anxiety just sucks. And so I want to come on and tell you, let not your heart be troubled. You have every single thing you need to prosper, to be well, to have a positive mindset, to continue to improve your life and the life of you and your family, in spite of whatever happens amongst our government leaders. And now, I believe now, it's more important than ever. We always talk about how this election is the most important election in our lifetime. This is the most important election in our nation's history. You know what's always important is you taking control of your life. You seizing your mind and your actions and directing them in a way that you want to go deliberately, actively. Not being blown by the winds of political parties, but taking control of your mind and your life. My favorite quote, you've heard me say it many, many times. He who conquers his mind conquers the world. Zeno, the father of Stoic philosophy. So it doesn't matter what Joe Biden is barely uttering in Vietnam, or what rally Donald Trump is pontificating at in wherever. It doesn't matter. If these two guys are trying to conquer the American vote, they're trying to conquer the White House. But would it not be greater to conquer the freaking world? Well, you and I have a world that exists between our ears. It is the one that we are the mayor, the county commissioner, the county judge, the state senator, the state rep, the president of. It is our mind to govern and steward any way we see fit. We determine what goes in. We determine how that mind is shaped. We determine what to block out. We determine whether we are going to take control of that mind and make it better or just leave it to chance. Let just messages and images fall in front of our eyes, pierce our ears and not take any account of what is coming in to that mind. And if we do that, then guess what? You're just leaving it for chance. You're letting the matrix rule you. You're letting the matrix decide how you will react. You're letting the matrix decide how your life will be lived instead of taking control of that mind and actually taking action for yourself. No one can legislate a better you. Only you can do that. No one can legislate the perfect life for you. Only you can do that. No one can legislate the perfect job for you. Only you can do that. No one can legislate creativity. Only you can do that. And if you're someone that gets so wound up about the political poison that is out there, if you're that person, and look, I've lived it. I am a recovering political junkie. I get it. It's so easy. It's right in front of us all the time. It has become America's favorite pastime. R versus D, blue versus red. That it's no longer baseball. It's barely football. It's politics. And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be that way. You and I have a little governing body under our own roof, inside our own four walls. How's that one shaping up? Now, granted, the decisions that are made outside those four walls by these political leaders, they can impact what goes on inside our homes and inside our own lives. But guess what? Only you can be prepared. Only you can prepare yourself and your mind and your family for what these other knuckleheads do outside. And my encouragement to you is that you have every resource you need. In fact, you've got more resources now than has ever existed in human history to be creative, to be healthier, to live a better life. We have so many resources at our fingertips to truly hone this thing that we call our human self, our body, our mind. There is more at our fingertips, more at our disposal if we just decide to take control of it. It's there. Imagine if you were living in 1940 and you decided that you wanted to optimize your mind, optimize your health. You wanted to live longer. You didn't even have that opportunity. You didn't have time to think about that. You and I, part of the problem and part of the reason why we get so wound up about politics is because we've got so much time to think about it. We here in America, we have this luxury of getting to think about politics and think about nuance and think about these things that just simply don't really matter to someone in a part of the world where they woke up this morning and they thought about one thing: don't let my child starve to death. Don't let me die so that I can stay here to protect my child. So guess what? They're not worried about this thing, this political nonsense that we're constantly obsessed over. And so you've got a choice. You can either let the matrix determine where your attention goes. And by the way, where focus goes, energy flows. Where focus goes, energy flows. If you are going to focus on some politician babbling on a stage about how they're going to run your life, just give them the keys to your life and they'll run it. If you're going to focus, then that's where your energy is going to go. You're going to get pissed at the one that doesn't tell you what you want to hear. You're going to fall in love unnecessarily, put your trust where it should never go, which is into some man, again, quotes, man or woman, when what you should be doing is stepping out of the matrix and deciding for yourself. How can I take the steering wheel of my life? How can I hold the levers of my life? And how can I make it better? That's my message for you today. I hope and I pray, and I truly do, I hope and I pray that that each and every one of you, if you've done it, that you'll stay the course. But if you haven't, I want you to truly realize the resources you have within you to make your life better, to improve it, to be healthier, to be happier, to have more energy, to be more loving, to be more kind. This crap that's outside of your control, that you're letting rule you almost as though you're giving that control away. It's up to you. When you're frustrated and pissed off at outside sources, things that you have no control of, you're the one handing it over. They didn't come and take it from you. You handed it to them. But the Matrix has a funny way of doing that, doesn't it? The Matrix has a funny way of telling you what car you should drive. The Matrix has a funny way of telling you what you should be pissed off about. The Matrix has a funny way of telling you what your values should be and what your morals should look like. The Matrix will do everything in its power to manipulate you, because if they can do that, then the Matrix can own you. Step out of the Matrix and decide for yourself. Conquer your world. Don't be disheartened. Get frustrated, but then take action. It's okay. Look, it's impossible to live a life unless you've reached ultimate enlightenment. And there are a few guys out there. That's one of the things I'm loving right now. I'm really, really diving deep into the work and the writings and the videos and listening to podcasts of former Navy SEAL Commander Mark Divine. And it's interesting because the thing that Mark Divine, I think, but he's obviously a warrior, right? I mean, founder of SEALFIT, just an amazing human being, author of The Unbeatable Mind. I recommend it to everyone. Those of you who follow me on Insta, you've heard me, or you've seen that I'm going through his 8 weeks to SEALFIT. But you know what Mark Divine's real talent and real gift is? And I think it's kind of the root, it's kind of the anchor for all the greatness that he has seen throughout the course of his life, or that he has exhibited throughout the course of his life. It is his control of his mind, and that starts with his breath. The man's like a monk. He's like a Navy SEAL warrior monk. And he'll tell you, when he started to study Zen and breath and mindfulness, it was there that he started to take control of who he was. When you can control yourself from the inside and you can manage that world with precision, then all of a sudden, and I mean, we're talking about a guy who has had, look, the one thing about it, these politicians, they don't come up to you and they don't beat you down and yell at you and make you run on the beach with logs over your head and put you through just an absolute living hell like the Navy SEALs go through. They don't do that. But that's what Mark Divine has gone through. And to get through it, he realized it wasn't about being physically fit enough. That was a huge component of it. It wasn't about just the self-talk. That was a component of it. It wasn't about just being lean enough, having the right VO2 max, the right strength. It wasn't all of those things. It was about the ability to calm and control his mind. And I think right now, more than ever, in this world that is increasingly going, I don't think this is the right word, but you get it. It's going madder and madder, more and more mad. I think that's right. It's now, in this time where up is down, down is up, the leaders that we have that are being elected are probably not the ones that any of us would choose, that more than ever, you and we must learn to make the absolute most of who we are and be good stewards of the resources that are within our control. If you draw that circle and you think of the things, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, U.S. Congress, all these things that are outside, you only really get to control those for real. You can go out and be an activist and all that. I get it. But really, every 2 years, you can control your congressman's fate, congresswoman's fate. Every 6 years, your senator. Every 4 years, your president. But on a day-to-day, the only thing that is always right there in the center of that circle that you have the ability to control is you. And in my circle, it's me. And the reason why we get so frustrated whenever we focus on those things that are outside the circle is because we have no control over them. So I'm here to challenge you and to encourage you. Take control of that which you have the ability to control. So when it comes to controlling your mind, more than ever, right now, my message to you is to improve your mind and the ability to control your mind always, in all ways. I love you. I'm praying for you. I'm pulling for you. Thank you for sharing this 20 minutes or so with me today. Go crush your day. I'm out. Hey, thank you so much for listening to the show. It means more to me than you can possibly imagine. And if you enjoyed it, please consider going out to Apple and leaving us a 5-star rating. That would mean the world to me. Also, follow me on Insta at Jason Right Now. And don't forget, download the Vitruvian Lab app. I mean it. I want to be your personal peak performance trainer. I want to help you improve always and always. Lastly, check out my newsletter, the Vitruvian Letter. You can subscribe at jasonrightnow.com. And until we meet again, please continue to endeavor to improve always in all ways. I'm out.